in rugby, it's not always that way, and I think that there's lots that can be done. The potential is massive. It's a game that I love. It's a game that's changed my life and changed many people's life, like I said. But you know, it needs to kind of be delivered differently, I think.
And obviously, hearing you speak about that, you're obviously very passionate about that, and it seems like you've got a much more positive outlook on rugby now. You're obviously back in the sport, and hopefully, you've got a good few years to come, really positively giving to the sport and the sport giving to you. But you did mention back there that in 2015, you sort of washed your hands of the whole England thing. It didn't seem like a very positive environment for you. And you mentioned as well, sort of being given a lot of maybe excuses or reasons that you didn't quite understand about why you weren't being picked in certain environments, particularly with England. So I remember hearing you as well say at one point, I think you ignored a call because you were just like, I know what it's going to be. I know exactly what's going to be said. So it's just going back to then, it's difficult, isn't it? When you're in that environment, you're scoring tries for fun and you're still not getting to that level that you think you deserve to be at. So what was that like at the time?
I mean, it's quite frustrating. You feel the top try scorer of the league consistently for 8 years or whatever it was. I don't really know what I'm saying. If you're in the NBA, you're top point scorer, you're gonna be representing your country. You're gonna have like people who want to work with you to like see if you could get better, or you know if you suggest to do something to try and elevate your game. You know, you would expect people to want to like help do that stuff, but it would be like, oh, almost like, oh, I'm at my peak, so you can't get any better. That's the kind of vibe I would get, and it's just like, well, obviously it's not good enough because I'm not getting picked. So, I'm of this. That's how I'm wired. I want to be the best, and if I'm not playing for England, then I'm obviously not the best. You know what I mean? I don't need to be like, oh, I'm the best. I'm doing this and whatever. Like I should be being picked. If I'm not being picked, then I'm obviously not good enough. So I want to be better. Who can I go to help coach me? It wasn't really anybody in the rugby world. So I would then seek my own coaches, do my own training, which helped to maintain the level I could play at. It might not it might not give me the skills that people maybe wanted me to have, or maybe think I didn't have. But it definitely it enabled me to put the performances out there, which kept people on the edge of their seats, which kept me, having the stats I would have. And then, like I said, when I did have coaches that came along, like Rob Hoadley, Brad Davis, Sean Edwards, Ben Ryan, you know, then at those times, that's when my game did go up and elevate. But other than that, I was just relying on talent, and great players who I was able to play with to help teach me. Anybody I play with, you will know, like, yeah, where he's always trying to like learn. He'd come and speak to me about this and watch video with guys, like watch other sports as well, seeing what I can learn, because I'm literally like a sponge. But I just feel, in my career that there's so many opportunities for me to have taken my game to another level, but there's no resource for it.
And some of those coaches you mentioned there, in terms of the ones that had a real positive effect on you, were defence coaches. Sean Edwards, best defence coach we've ever seen. Brad Davis, really respected in that world. At that time, when you were getting frustrated, and I don't know what the excuses or the reasons that people were giving you in terms of England selection were, but I've heard you talk about it in the past, that there was a lot of kind of, I suppose you describe it as lazy journalism at the time, sort of saying, well, Christian scores tries for fun, but his defence is like this or that. And it almost felt like that was a frustration for you, because you felt that was an area that you worked on and you'd improved, and it was good, but it was almost like people didn't have to watch carefully what you were doing. They'd just go to that, oh, that's why he's not getting picked, because of that.
Yeah, well, it's the media, so it's just like media don't know what they don't know, and there's no one really knows anyway, because from England coaches, those weren't, and the reasons I would get, there wouldn't really be any reasons. It just wouldn't happen for me. So ultimately, to keep the story going, people had to report on something. So that's obviously they would just go for those things, you know. But after a while, I was just kind of like, you know, it was frustrating. But I never really read media stuff anyway. It's just what people would say. And then I think I spoke about it before with Brad Davis. He actually was like, "No, let me actually pay attention to this and have a look, analyze my game, look at past videos." And he was just like, "You're actually one of the best defenders in the league for your position, and so who's playing for England misses X amount of tackles, this that is like ninth, 10th in the league. So just continue to ignore that stuff. We'll keep working because he knows the type of player I am, and I just go from strength to strength. Now, when it comes to defense, like or at the time then, and obviously going forward, I could help to communicate, help other people around me so that they could be better defenders, be able to read the game well, track the ball in defense. I love defense, so it's one of those things. Obviously, I'm never going to be the dude to like make big crunching tackles like all the time because of my size. But at the end of the day, tackle's a tackle, as long as you do your job, that's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? But aside from that, who's gonna score the same amount of tries I can score? Who's gonna be the person that when the game is up against the wall or we got our backs to you, who you looking for in the field? You know what I mean? Those are the things that when it comes to a game, because that's what it is at the end of the day. If you want to win, those are the things you're looking for. Who's got X factor? Like who can do all the things and still bring that X factor when it's needed, because that's when you see the true character of players, right? When there's adversity or there's discomfort, who can still perform, who can still apply the pressure even when the pressure's been on them the whole game. um, yeah, so it's been a journey, mate. It's been a journey, but it's definitely like I said, I've had the experience of all the rugby stuff at all the levels up to Lions, and then I've been to America for 4 years with one of the best teams in the league as well. As you can see, they're still getting better and better, and I'm still in contact with a lot of the guys. Josh Allen, you know, Levi Davis now moved to a different team. Zach Moss, or all the running backs, Motor Singletary, Tyrell. There's so many players, across the league, not just at the Bills, that their mindset matches mine, and that's why when I went there, I felt so comfortable, and it just helped take me to another level in my mindset as well, because I was just like, all these years in rugby thinking that I'm the odd one out, and why doesn't anyone else think how I think? Is there something wrong with me? Going to there and just feeling absolutely at peace and saying, "Oh, this is why," because I'm an elite professional, and I need to be around people who think the same. Otherwise, I'm gonna be uncomfortable, and not in a good way. Not it's not the uncomfortable. It's not the living in the uncomfortable so that sorry, it's not being comfortable in the uncomfortable environments where you're working hard. It's the uncomfortable because it's like a thorn in your side. Like you don't want that thorn in your side. You want to take it out because it's just an annoyance. We're trying to get somewhere. What can we do to get this to this point? Rather than just kind of resting on our laurels.